What weight class would you guys be in?
Now?
Yeah, right now. Well, I mean, in your prime when you were doing,
lightweight or super lightweight for me. So it would have been 149 or 159 and under, depending on
Okay. And
that's super light?
Super light was 149. It eventually got to 149. It was 139 before.
What was light? What was Pedro in?
Pedro was 159 and under.
Is that light?
That's light.
Yeah, I was in Pedro's division. That's why I never did well.
Pedro Xaiver. If you want to Google Pedo Xaiver, this guy is absolutely insane.
He's insane.
Boston Taekwondo.
This dude, man.
So
Pedro, who, by the way?
Xaiver. Pedo Xaiver. Anybody from Boston Taekwondo, which was the school he was from, anybody that had that on a gi, you immediately know you're on notice. All right, if you're fighting a guy, I don't care if you've never seen him before. He's coming out from Joe Pena's school and just the list of killers they developed. You knew, even if you never saw this guy, be aware. Be 100% aware that you're in for a fight. It's kind of like the same thing. Like my dad told me.
Those dudes were Cobra Kai.
They literally were Cobra Kai. They were the modern day Cobra Kai. My dad would tell me, like, hey, watch out when you go to Philly. Those Philly guys, they're just different, man. And yeah, fighting dudes in Philly they don't give up.
I mean,
they just keep fighting.
If you're in the circuit long enough, you know which schools produce the best fighters for sure. Like you go into Baltimore, you got anyone from the Eddie Butcher's clan, or you go into the Bronx and you got like Jotty, and I mean you just gotta you need to
do
your homework.
Do your homework, because then you go to that equation. Well, you'll find out if this is find out. You know what this is, that linear equation. So you need to find out before you go the other way, or else you serve for a painful lesson for learning. The price of learning is great.
Also, you're a color commentator?
Yes, sir. One of the things that I've been doing since the days of competing have gone down, it's something I found out I could do when we would train, and you're on the outside of the ring. Either you're judging or you're waiting to get in the ring to spar. And I just started calling the action just like I saw it, and it's something I found out that I could do. I was asked to do it at one of the tournaments. I do believe we were over in Ireland, and they gave me a microphone. I wasn't taking pictures. I wasn't one of the cameramen. So they were like, hey, can you describe what's going on in the fights? And I was like, yeah, this is great. I can tell you, what's happened, what the technique was, did it score, explain the rules, and kind of tell a story. The way someone related it to is just like listening to baseball over the radio, because you could actually correctly describe what's happening and explain to anyone that just maybe found this program right there. So getting a chance to do that has led to some nice things, doing it over ESPN, getting a chance to kind of call some of the Bellator prelim fights with a guy by the name of Robin Black. He's a Canadian martial artist, and also he works for the equivalent of ESPN up there in Canada. It's called TSN instead of ESPN. He's their MMA analyst. Getting a chance to meet him and like literally call fights with him, and we would be doing things like this, hanging out with Chuck Liddell, Chris Cyborg, CM Punk, John Finch. I'm just going off like the top of my head of guests that we had on the show, which was really cool just to hang out with. And like, that was all during pandemic. That was great. That was great to meet. And the funny thing is, I actually didn't physically meet Robin face to face until this year at Karate Combat, because we had done everything virtually. And I finally got a chance to meet him face to face. I was actually just in Toronto, got a chance to meet him, his wife and his baby girl. So it's a strange world, but something I do enjoy doing because I could do it. And commentating is a lot less sore than actually fighting in a tournament.
Right.
Just tell you, it's a little bit easier to do because the only thing that's tired is my voice at the end of the night, and not my body, my ankle, my pinky, or whatever you'll nick up or injure. So that's been really fun. I've enjoyed doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I remember we used to watch Redskins games, and we would actually turn the radio on and listen to the commentary on the radio, not the announcers on TV, because they were just a lot more detailed.
Yep, because you had to be. You had to paint the picture.
And
yes,
and if you know the sport, then you do great. Like as much as I hate him, Troy Aikman's not that bad a commentator.
Right. Yeah.
With Joe Buck, he is. Gosh.
And nobody mentioned Chris Collinsworth because he's a guy that you're just like, oh, please just shut up.
I know.
Oh, Chris been messing up here lately this new season. Like the opening game, he was like, like, oh man, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
Well, they notice because there are a couple guys that want to take that spot,
Right.
That's right.
And so, and painting the picture, like going back to wrestling, I don't know if you gentlemen know about Gordon Soley, but there was a blind guy came up to him and said, I could see it. Just by you talking. Yeah.
That means a lot. Just
Wow.
To be able to describe with that much detail, that's
good. That's incredible, yeah.
So what you're doing, man, color commentating is awesome. I love it. Done it once or twice. I used to be a pro wrestler. I used to work and everything like that.
Oh, really?
But the promoter, he moved off to Memphis and stuff. So I'm just like, I'm in Arkansas.
Oh.
So in Arkansas, there's really nothing here.
I've driven through that state many times.
Okay.
So I definitely. Let's see. If you're a WCW and then later WWE fan, Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yeah. What about him?
So Ernest is an old.
He's awesome.
And the cat. Let me tell you, Ernest is one of those guys. We were in Canada one time, and we had just competed up in Canada, and we got to our gate super early, and he would just tell me story after story. He said he got his locker, he got his break. He said because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash would come in. So we would call this in PG County, we call it joning. Okay, it could be in terms of cracking or whatever. But if you just come in and talk, you just talking bad about like, oh man, look at those shoes right there.
I say joning all the time.
You just going
there. You
go. So
that's right.
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash would do that in the locker room, and he says people were just like intimidated. And Ernest said, my mom always told me, don't let nobody talk bad about you. And, he's from Atlanta. He's got a little bit of the country voice going on. And he would stand up to him, and he had the locker room in tears after Scott Hall came and said something to him. And he was like, well, hold on for a second there, raise the remote. And he just turned everything against him. And he says, I get called to the boss's office thinking like, oh, man, I'm going to get fired. And they were like, yeah, they told me you were really good. You want to try doing a promo on the mic. Just because you were very good with just being able to no script, just go with it. And he started getting more and more FaceTime and more time on mic. They developed a character for him. And it was all because of that. And, as he moved over to the WWE, same thing with Vince. He was like, he's like, can I trust you? You're not going to freeze in the moment. You're not, the worst thing to do is to mess up on the mic in front of a live audience. And everybody's done it. Everybody's done it. Go look at some of the bloopers that The Rock has.
Oh, yeah, dude. They retape that stuff later on if it's
you got to fix it. Yeah. You have to fix it or else it will not be
live. It's just good, you just look awkward live. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ernest is a friend, and he's still active. You go to the Battle of Atlanta in June. He'll be there, and I'll see on his Instagram wrestling shows he's going to, signing autographs and doing things like that.
Nice. So is that where these catchphrases come from? Better call your mama. Better call
my mama. Call my mama.
Yeah.
You take what you know and you make it your own. That's
you brand it.
You brand it, absolutely.